It's messy and I make it magical. We'll do a quick check-in. How's my week been? Honestly, it just started, but I'm trying to be positive and say it's gonna get off to a really good start. And we're gonna have a good week, a good week. My vibe today is probably just chilling, calm vibe. Just kind of just letting the manifestations kick in, just trying to relax, not stress too much, not do too much, just seeing how I get through the day type vibe. Today's topic, I'm telling y'all exactly how I got into tarot because baby, it wasn't no fairy tale. It was a full-on spiritual ambush. Okay, so my life was lifing. I got into tarot as soon as I found out I was pregnant with my oldest son, Javion. I was coming from a very spiritual, very emotionally abusive, physically abusive home. And when I got pregnant, it kind of just opened me up to like just spiritual path and following what I want to do. And I've always had dreams. I've always had an inner knowing of like the reason how I'm going to escape my family is I'm going to get pregnant. I think I was looking for answers that Google couldn't give me. And this kind of just helped me with exploring this. I had I had a pendulum, and this was before I got pregnant. I think I was like 18, and I bought one. And I remember my friend wanted me to go to a tarot reader with her, like a psychic with her. It was like on like a street that was close by. And so for some reason, I always felt off about going to that psychic with her, and she told me the psychic was married. The psychic's really good. The psychic gave her like a spiritual bath thing to help her cleanse, to help her get through something emotionally traumatic. So I was with this pendulum and I didn't really know how to use it first to get accurate answers or whatever. So I was swinging it, like I wasn't swinging it, but I was like letting it ask me questions or whatever. And I just asked it, I said, because I was really into like God or whatever. I'm still believe in God or whatever, but I'm just not religious. So I was asking God through the pendulum that like, can you please let me know if I should go to this tarot reader with my friend? And I kid you not, I literally fell asleep for 2 minutes and my like no, yeah, I knocked out and my eyes rolled back and I could see like the tarot reader's intention and going into the place with my friend and seeing all like her getting the reading, but the energy was so dark and we're leaving after getting the reading and I could see all these dark spirits just floating around the psychic and like she's there laughing with her husband like she just deceived us. And I was like, yeah, that was a good sign for me where I was like, I'm not going to this tarot reader. I'm not doing this. I've always been drawn to them as a kid. I was not allowed to go to the tents in the flea market because my dad wasn't allowing me. And he always said, oh, they're going to fill up your head with lies. That's what my parents grew up on the upbringing or whatever about it. But yeah, I just was always drawn to him. But I really got into it when I was pregnant. And after I left my mom's house, I started getting a lot of dreams that I didn't understand, a lot of warnings about things that I would just kind of let play out. And then I got my first deck, and I remember just like trying to figure it out, looking through the like reading the book, but being very confused and being very drained, like having candles lit, but just being very drained from the tarot cards because I wasn't really doing it properly. I wasn't cleansing my energy. I wasn't cleansing my deck. I was just drained all the time and had my 2-year-old, my little baby running around and just like not even centered, not even doing it like in a good energy, just very chaotic. And I ended up going to bed and I felt like there's something in my room because of all the chaotic energy and not cleansing my deck. Sometimes it can bring dark energies around you. It can be scary, but it's not like you're gonna get possessed. It's just like you need to cleanse yourself, you need to cleanse your room, you need to cleanse your deck all the time, even after you do a reading, because you have that energy of of people's energy you're pulling on or just questions you're asking. It just really drains your energy. So I remember getting the pendulum right when it was an old best friend of mine. We're not friends anymore, but it was an old best friend of mine. And she was having a baby, and I predicted her gender through the pendulum. Pendulums are really good for that. So I predicted she was gonna have a boy, and we went to the gender reveal, and she was having a boy, and I was right. That's kind of where it began, and I just was had a really on and off relationship with tarot. Like I used to quit, go back, quit, go back, quit, go back. Yeah, when I really started to, I got a new deck because the deck I had was very confusing. And you have to be very like specific or know what deck you're getting because depending on how you read or how you interpret things, it can be very complicated. So I got like they always say start with the Rider Waite tarot deck because it's the easiest and it is the easiest. So I got one of those and I used to pull on like my relationships and stuff like that. And I would always get a deceptive energy regarding my oldest son's father. Like it would just never be like good. Like there's always a cheating or there's always like a deceptive card or lies or something going on. Like I knew what it meant like from the card meaning, but I didn't really understand what type of cheating it was or whatever. So I kind of just would pull back one card and I would get the tower and I was like, yo, spirit is not like Spirit's telling me like we're about to everything's about to get exposed already and it's like whoa, like it's crazy. Sometimes I used to be very scared. Sometimes I still get anxious about certain cards. Like certain cards I would be very scared and not want to like really read. I would shuffle again and it would just be like the same thing. Like this is what you need to understand. Shut up. Stop it. She's bored. This is what you need to understand. And it just kind of like when you have anxiety already, it just makes it a little hard to read because your emotions are getting into it. And that's why I used to always go to readers because I didn't want to read my own tarot for myself. So yeah, when I knew it was real, it was more of like when things started to play out for me and when things started to play out for other people who would get readings from me. They're like, oh, you're right. Oh my God, this happened. Like, you know? And that's when I was like, yeah, like this is something I'm meant to do. I've always felt drawn to it. I always knew it was for me, but I always had a very like back and forth with it because of like like where I grew up in my religion and stuff. Shiloh, stop it. Sorry guys. So yeah, but after a while I was like, yeah, this is for me and I'm not doing this back and forth anymore. So my learning journey, I learned from YouTube, I learned from reading books, I learned from just like picturing what I feel, even though it felt like I was overthinking, but like I just felt it. So I was like, yeah, this is what it is. And even if it came out very confusing to the person I was reading for, it still ended up coming out proper. I also used a site like called Tarot Guide to help me guide when it came to different topics like relationship, career, money, general, like stuff like that, spiritual health. Like it would just kind of help me guide and be able to read with them and kind of interpret based on their energy or who they are. And it kind of helped me make sure I was accurate. And that's the thing. I don't go on these sites to deceive people. It's more to make sure that you're getting an accurate reading. And I want to be sure myself for you because I'm not trying to be out here deceiving people. Like for me, it's not even really about the money. I just enjoy helping people. I enjoy guiding people as much as I can, you know? And so, yeah, like it's another thing when you're dealing with people who want to judge you on your spiritual practice and like going through imposter syndrome and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like it's hard, but I really learned to grow. Hey, hold on, guys. Sorry, yeah. So learning to kind of just like grow within myself and be like, yo, I don't really care about the fact that you guys believe in like super religious and religion and Christianity and all that kind of stuff. That's your business. That's your life. That's your path. But don't come to me and judge me for it because I live both sides. I've been to church, I've been through all that kind of stuff to the point where I'm like, half of these people who are church people do things behind closed doors that are not even holy. So, like, do I really care if you judge me? And just, it's fine, have your own belief, but don't come to me and look at me some type of way, especially if you don't want to hear my mouth. So, I've dealt with people who've, like, asked me questions through live about like how are you reading tarot cards and I'll be like yeah and I know who it's from but I'm not saying anything but I know who it's from and I don't care like you know I've been around a lot of Christian people, Christian women, Christian guys, like people who try to get me off that and pray for me or whatever. I did all the whole shebang but it's just not for me anymore. And I used to feel bad being judged and anxiety, like I had to change. But I just like, you know, this is for me and nothing ever really bad happened for me. I even got into spell work, which helps. It's good for manifestation. It helps to heal people, reverse curses and stuff. And there's times where I doubted my cards and when a friend pulled for me, but I knew with my own cards what it was. But this person pulled for me and it wasn't what it was. I ended up finding out that it was what I believed it was, and it was the truth, and it was based on my boyfriend and him lying about money or whatever. But it turns out that he was telling the truth, and so me and that friend no longer talk. I cut that friend off because I just felt like, you're not gonna be in my life and you're lying to me through tarot cards, and you're big time reader. Like, I don't have time. Like, this is not for me. Like, you need to go on your own path now, and I need to leave me and myself and I and my life alone. So that's when I got humbled. I'm gonna be honest, spirit doesn't miss, even though sometimes I wish they did, but because it's hard with the outcomes and stuff. But when you're in a spiritual path, they're with you all the way, and they're trying to guide you through the hardest times ever. And because it's gonna be tough times, it's gonna be times where you feel emotionally crazy, but they're guiding through you all this and tell you that when enough is enough. So what tarot means to me now, as like a mom, a woman, a creator, a healer, it's just a tool for spiritual guidance. It's all about your intent. So if you have intention of deceiving people, lying to people, putting curses, hexes on people, dabbling in demons and all that kind of stuff, your life is going to be very negative. Everything around you is going to be negative, dark energy. Like, people are going to censor from you. You're going to wonder why certain things are not working in your favor, but only dark things work in your favor. That's what you're going to attract, right? But if you're, example, like me, I'm more of a healer. I'm more of light energy. I'm more of, manifestations, money, healing, health, moving forward, growing, self-love, stuff like that. Helping people, with situations that they're going through that they don't understand. Like, you're going to attract good in your life. You're going to attract a lot of good things, a lot of change, right? And I'm not downing on the people that are into dark energy. That's them. But tarot, spell work, everything is all about your intention. And if you have evil intentions, like, sometimes people are just into dark energy, but they don't have bad intentions, which is a good thing. Like, but there's people out here who I've experienced, who I've met, who have also tried to do dark energy on me, but it never worked because I'm pretty good with picking up on things. If I see things that are not, it may not, even if it takes me a while, if I pick it up and I find out that you're doing it, I'm going to reverse it back to you, and I'm going to block it from ever reaching me again, because I don't have the energy to deal with that nonsense. Believe in people who want to put hexes on people or do black magic or tarot to drain people's energy because you're jealous or insecure or mad that they reached success and you didn't. You didn't reach a place where you were supposed to be because you didn't you didn't put in the work and put yourself in the position to do and be there. So those people, that energy, I just don't business with. And that's what you're going to always lead yourself into a hole until you spiritually, till spirit has to actually come in, especially if you're meant to be on a path to change, and get in and give you a big tarot moment to say, yo, it's time for you to get out of this now. I've seen a lot of tarot readers who are on YouTube that literally had a spiritual awakening with God calling them because they were probably doing a lot of wicked shit. A lot of wicked shit. I had a one girl who was talking and she said she used to have she used to do books and read books. She said she would look and there's a whole demon with wings laughing over her. These are people who do things that are dark and end up having bad consequences because maybe they're deceiving so much people or maybe it hurt people. A lot of people dive into these things and can see a lot, and they ended up getting called by God in their life because they need to come off this path. They're getting so lost in it that they don't even know. I don't, it's scary, but it's not judgmental. I'm not judging them because, everyone has to go through life learning. They dab into something and they probably took it farther than they were supposed to, and that was it. And, yeah, I just think that it's all about your intention. Just have good intentions. And if you do feel called to tarot, trust it. It's all about your intent. Is you want to read for guidance, read for guidance. There's a lot of tools that will help you out here, but don't be scared of it. Because it's all about your intent, like I said, and just do what you're supposed to, which is cleansing all the time. But don't feel scared of it, especially if you feel drawn to it. It's not gonna hurt you. Right? It will only hurt you if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're just going into it blindly and you're not doing your research, or if you have bad intention with others. It's gonna end up bringing energies that are matching the energy that you're putting out. So if it's dark, it's gonna be dark energies. If it's light, it's gonna be light energies. A personal routine or ritual that I do. Well, now I do a lot of pulling cards. daily and just practicing. I also work with my pendulum. I bind my tarot deck and pendulum to me so that it only gives me accurate answers and it's for me. I do a lot of cleansing. I do a lot of spiritual manifestations regarding what goals I want to have coming within a few months or within a few weeks or days. Help me practice my skill work on things, blessings, protection, all that kind of stuff is what I do on a daily. I don't, with spell work, I take like maybe a 3 day, sometimes a week break because it is exhausting and it does drain my energy. And with tarot, I do a lot of it on Etsy and I do a lot of it for people. So sometimes I just came back from taking a break from Etsy, like a vacation mode, just for a couple of days because I just needed to get out of the funk I was in and I was feeling super drained. So yeah, just came back and, taking spiritual baths, which I don't take baths, I take showers, but you can rub salt on your body and it cleanses you. Washing your hands with salt and water cleanses you after using tarot decks, Palo Santo, cleansing my space, my cards, my area. I mean, you don't need to cleanse your cards all the time, but when you're in the beginning, like, yes, you should because you're just starting out, but when you know what you're doing, you don't have to cleanse it all the time. Just only when there's a lot of stuck energy, or if you did a lot of readings for people, like you should definitely do that. Or if you're reading on energies that are very like negative, you should do it because you don't want to go to bed with those energies. You'll just be feeling drained. And sometimes I'm very empathic. I'm an empath, so sometimes I feel people's energies that are not mine, and I think they're mine. So I have to do a lot of cleansing whenever I feel super like I was probably in a super happy mood, and then all of a sudden I'm in a bad mood. That's me having probably just took on someone's energy and like needing to cleanse. And so yeah, like it's just a matter of doing that and finding out your own spiritual ritual and stuff. How I talk to my guides and my ancestors is I'll light a white candle. I use spell candles, which I'll show you right now. These candles. So I use these candles. I like melt the bottom with a lighter and I have a plate that I could burn these on. And I stick it there so it sticks there or whatever with the wax. And I light a white candle and I put a glass of water because my guides, my ancestors, they like water. And the reason I found this out is I was following a hoodoo tip, which is like voodoo or whatever. It's not voodoo, but they give you tips on how to like connect to your ancestors. And I tried it, and I started off by lighting a white candle, putting water to see what else they want, right? So I asked, what else do you guys want as an offering? And I just heard, that's fine. Like, they're very, like, I guess I have a lot of women ancestors and guides, but they're like, that's fine. Like, they're very sweet. And so every time I want to talk to them or ask for guidance, I light a white candle and I give them water. Like, they're very simple guides and ancestors. They're very chill. Some of them do have a very fighting spirit, so when they're ready to come out, they'll come out. But yeah, I that's how I connect to my guides and ancestors, and you can start off by doing that if you want to see what it is, and however they feel like they can connect you where you'll understand that it's them and they'll get it. That's how you'll know. But yeah, if you do feel drawn to tarot, there's a reason you should trust it. And you guys should DM me your tarot stories. I would love to listen to them and connect with them and stuff and see how you guys got into tarot or your journey with tarot or just wanting to get into tarot, but like you're scared and your doubts. And I hope this video brought you guys a lot of conclusions and like clarity and stuff like that. So I'm Shanique B and I read cards, but baby, I read people too. So see you next time.